friends, we are here in Mark chapter 7. Basically, the Pharisees and the scribes were looking at Jesus' disciples, and they were saying, how come they don't wash their hands? Now, it's interesting that a couple chapters ago, they were watching them and they were saying, why don't they fast? And Jesus was like, well, they don't fast because the bridegroom is with them. Now is the time for celebration. But this time, they're really looking at Jesus and his disciples. And they're like, look, you guys don't wash your hands in the way that we do. Now, this was a ritual washing. It's not like they were just, had filthy hands while they were eating. They had a lot of, and it says in this passage, they had a lot of things that they had to clean pots in a certain way. And they even had rules for which way the water was supposed to go down your hand. Now, these things are not in the Bible. The Old Testament does say that you should wash. It has a lot of things in the law that are good ideas. I'm sorry, I can't get over. Do you see how many flowers are on this hill? This is awesome. Anyways, so another thing that they said is that this was a rule that they brought on by the elders. So this was not directly written in the Old Testament that you were supposed to wash your hands in this way. But what they were doing was that they were saying that the money that they were making was God's money, and so they weren't taking care of their own parents. And so Jesus points this out, like, you guys are going to listen to this rule that you made up, and you're going to deny the rule that God made, that you should honor your mother and your father. And I think what is so interesting about this part is just how horrible legalism is. I mean, it doesn't seem like a major sin, I went to a church a long time ago. I was on vacation, and we went to a very small city in Florida called Alachua, and we went to this Baptist church, and I had long hair at the time. I was just a kid. I had long hair, and while I was there, I was talking to the people, and they said that recently they had done some research, and they concluded that having long hair is absolutely a sin. That they studied it, and long hair, it's a sin to have long hair, and I'm standing there with long hair. They could have not said that. It was pretty obvious that I'm, one of the few people in the room, and I have long hair. But it was confusing to me, Every picture of Jesus I'd ever seen, he had long hair. I know that Samson did, and that was kind of where God gave him his strength, was because of it. So, very confusing. I show up to a church, and they make me feel very uncomfortable and very unwelcome because of the length of my hair. It just seemed a little odd. Now, I know that there was in many ways that was a good church, but there's little things like this that get in the way of your relationship with God, and I think that's the issue with it, is that sometimes the things that seem very important in the church, now not all the time, but sometimes these things become an idol, or they become a false god. People are connecting with the religion rather than God. Now, I'm not one of these people that says that Christianity's not a religion. I know what they mean, and I agree with what people say when they say that. But if I'm talking to the culture around me, I'm not going to say, "Oh, I'm not religious. I'm a Christian." It kind of sounds like I'm saying, like I'm claiming that I'm better than them because they're religious, but I'm a Christian. But religion can get in the way of your relationship with God. Absolutely it can. And so much so that it's a false, it's an idol. It gets in the way. Here these people are washing their hands, but but they're not connecting with God. You know, it's a horrible sin, and it sneaks up on you. Anyway, he says something here, and this is the theme that I see. You know, he says that it's not that what comes into your body that defiles you, but what comes out of your body. And we understand this. You know, and I spoke about this a lot when I was in the book of Matthew. When you sin, that's something that's essentially coming out of your body. And he's saying that the foods that you eat, which was part of the law back in this day, that is not defiling you. And Mark makes the point that Jesus was declaring everything clean. Now the reason he's saying that is because his audience are Gentiles. You know, he's speaking to the church in Rome. So it's important that they know that even from the beginning, Jesus was saying, it's not the food that defiles you, it's what comes out of a person. But then the next story is kind of in that same vein, you know, saying that Jesus is the Messiah of not just the Jews, but the Gentiles as well. They go to the area of Tyre and Sidon. And there in Tyre and Sidon, they basically walk all the way over there just to meet one woman. And then Jesus is kind of abrupt with this woman. And he, you know, she comes up to him and shows very clearly that she knows that Jesus is the Messiah. You know, not even, she's saying that he's like the Jewish Messiah, but she knows what it means. I can't believe how much, you know, the Holy Spirit must have just told her everything. But Jesus says, well, why would I feed you when why would I feed you one of the dogs when my children haven't eaten yet? And she said, yeah, but even the dogs get to eat the scraps from the table. And so he says, you know, because of what you said and your faith, you know, your daughter is healed. And she went back, and her daughter, the demon was gone. I love this part because it shows at one point, you know, that Jesus was coming for the Jews, but he was also showing his disciples that this is not just for the Jewish people. This is for the world. It's coming to the Jews first, but then it's going to move out. And so it's important to show that he did this miracle in the area of Tyre and Sidon for a Gentile woman. And, you know, there's a couple times in the Gospels where it shows that the Gentiles, even before Jesus had ascended, but even before the book of Acts, the Gentiles are the ones that have really great faith. So that is what's going on in Mark chapter 7. All right, have a great day. Bye.